Star Trek. Strange New Worlds is one of the most anticipated shows in the Star Trek franchise, and for good reason. It's a prequel to the original series, featuring the adventures of Captain Pike and his crew on the USS Enterprise. The show has been praised for its faithful homage to the classic Star Trek, as well as its exciting and diverse stories. But what can we expect from the third season of this sci-fi hit? In this video, we'll show you on everything we know about Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3. Who's in the Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3 cast? Get ready for the Enterprise crew to boldly go on more wild rides through the final frontier. Leading the charge once again is Captain Pike, brought to life by fan favorite Anson Mount. You'll recognize him from Strange New Worlds' sister show, Star Trek Discovery. Fun fact, Mount has also starred opposite Britney Spears herself in the 2002 drama Crossroads. Reprising his role as the cerebral Spock is Ethan Peck. He's crossed over from Discovery too. Peck has guest starred on shows like Madam Secretary and the teen series 10 Things I Hate About You. The no-nonsense Lon is played by the talented Christina Chong, who sci-fi fans may remember from Johnny English Reborn and Tom and Jerry. Sassy navigator Erica Ortegas is brought to life by Melissa Navia. She has appeared on hits like Bull, Homeland, and Billions. And you can't forget Pike's unflappable number 1. She's played by Rebecca Roman, who starred in the X-Men movies back in the day. But to me, her most memorable role will always be as Smelly Cat Cheryl on Friends. The good doctor aboard the Enterprise is Dr. M. Benga, Babs Olusanmakun from Dune. We've also got Cadet Uhura, Celia Rose Gooding, head nurse Christine Chappell, Jess Bush, and in the Season 2 finale, Beam Me Up, Scotty! Fan fave Montgomery Scott gets brought to life by Martin Quinn. This cast has delightfully breathed new life into classic Trek characters, so get ready to see them boldly go where no one has gone before. Again, their space adventures continue. What's the plot of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3 about? After that wild Season 2 finale, the Strange New Worlds crew is far from out of the woods, and things are only going to get crazier from here. We saw Pike face an impossible choice after the reptilian Gorn snatched his people. Does he confront the threats head-on, or leave his missing crew to their grim fates? Well, this is Captain Pike we're talking about. You just know he won't abandon his team. Pike spots young Gorn working together and realizes these beings can communicate. Might that hold the key to rescuing everyone peacefully? We'll have to wait and see. And if that wasn't a big enough shock, we learn Pike's love interest, Captain Batel, has Gorn eggs inside her. Will she find a way to survive this alien invasion? Or will she have to make the ultimate sacrifice for the greater good? So many huge questions left unresolved. And that's not all. We got a blast from the past when the one and only Montgomery Scott beamed aboard. What role will this classic character play going forward? I'm telling you folks, these shocking twists are just the beginning. We've only scratched the surface of the strange new worlds this crew will explore. Who knows what unexpected threats and game-changing surprises await us in Season 3. Strap in and prepare to be transported across the galaxy once more. The brave crew of the Enterprise is just getting warmed up. Their next adventure promises to be the most gripping one yet. Why Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3 is delayed. The production of Season 3 was delayed indefinitely due to the strike action that happened in Hollywood. That's right, the writers and actors who bring you the adventures of Captain Pike and his crew were on strike, and it has been for months. Why were they striking, and what does it mean for the future of Star Trek? Keep watching to find out. The strike began on May 2nd, when the Writers Guild of America, WGA, walked out of their jobs, demanding better pay and working conditions. They also protested against the use of artificial intelligence by Hollywood studios, which they claim is threatening their creative rights and livelihoods. The WGA represents thousands of writers who work on movies, TV shows, and streaming platforms, including Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Without them, there is no script and no story. But the writers were not alone. In July, the Screen Actors Guild American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, SAG-AFTRA, the union that represents actors, also joined the strike in solidarity with the writers. They share the same concerns over pay and the use of AI, as well as issues such as healthcare and diversity. SAG-AFTRA represents millions of actors who work on screen and behind the scenes, including the stars of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. Without them, there is no performance and no emotion. The strike was the first joint action between the WGA and SAG-AFTRA in 63 years, and it shows how serious the situation was. The entertainment industry was going through a historic transformation with the rise of streaming services and new technologies. But the writers and actors who create the content that we love are not getting their fair share of the profits or the respect that they deserve. They were fighting for their rights and for the future of their craft. The strike has affected hundreds of productions across Hollywood, including Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. The show had just finished airing its second season on Paramount+, which ended with a shocking cliffhanger that left fans on the edge of their seats. When Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 3 could release. If you're a fan of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, you might be wondering when you'll get to see the next season of the show, the spin-off series that follows the adventures of Captain Pike, Spock, and Number 1 on the USS Enterprise. But when will Season 3 premiere on Paramount+? And what challenges will our heroes face in the final frontier? You don't want to miss this, so keep watching to find out. Seasons 1 and 2 of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds were filmed back-to-back, which means there was a long gap between the end of production and the release date. Season 2 premiered in June 2023, almost a year after filming wrapped up in July 2022. According to Trek Movie, Season 3 was supposed to start filming in May 2023 and finish in September 2023, which would have set the stage for an August or September 2024 premiere. However, things got complicated by the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes, which put a halt to many projects. The strikes are still ongoing, and there is no clear sign of when they will be resolved. This means that the filming schedule for Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 3 is up in the air, but the Brett Murphy, the American journalist, best known as a Pulitzer Prize finalist in 2018, wrote on X. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 3 has set a production window beginning next month. The series stars Anson Mount, Rebecca Roman, and Ethan Peck. Melanie Galvin replied to this and said, "Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 3 is slated for production starting next month, promising new adventures and discoveries for fans of the beloved series. This might be some amazing news for all Trekkies." With the strike having come to an end some few weeks ago, then we might still get to see Season 3 in 2024, maybe in late November or early December. But if the strikes drag on, then we might have to wait until 2025 to see what happens to Captain Batel and the Enterprise crew members who were captured by the Gorn. You won't believe what happened. Keep watching to find out. And as you already know, that filming was just about to kick off when contract disputes put everything on pause. But thankfully, the recent end of the WGA strike has put this sci-fi flagship back in warp drive. Showrunner Alex Kurtzman confirmed that Season 3 was just about the start before the strike. So we are now back on our feet and everything's kind of getting resettled. Schedules are shifting around, but it's definitely in the works, and we cannot wait. We know this is frustrating for all the fans who are eager to see more of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, but we hope you understand that these are extraordinary circumstances that are beyond anyone's control. We also hope that the strikes will be settled soon, and that the writers and actors will get fair compensation for their work. In the meantime, you can rewatch the previous seasons of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds on Paramount+, or check out some of the other Star Trek shows and movies that are available. And the fans were not left behind. One fan said, "Just realized, did the Andorian engineer died permanently? The Gorn are supposed to like warm temperature. If the infected PPL are put out to very cold sub-zero temperature, the Andorians have a higher chance of surviving being revived frozen, while the Gorn eggs would have died." And here is what another Trekkie had to say. Believe it or not, the two best shows this year were the live action with Lower Decks and the singing episode. Normally, I gag on singing episodes, but this one held my attention. The wait is getting long, but as we keep waiting for Season 3, you should check out the real reason why Star Trek Legacy isn't happening.